Hello, everyone. Welcome. Good morning or good afternoon, engineering students. So I kind of wanted to talk through um, what we're going to be doing this week, what it's going to look like, how it's going to affect your grade, what to do if you don't have Inventor at home, all of those things. First thing that I want to talk about, though, is the assignment that we kind of left off on. I think all of you have heard me talk about the PLTW 6.5, the reverse engineering project. I talked about that in previous videos, and this is definitely an assignment that we're going to continue to work on this week and next week. However, previously this was going to be graded as a summative assignment for everyone. However, given the current circumstances that we face ourselves in, I've really gotten the directive from the district that anything that we do specifically this week should do no harm to a student's grade, only help a student's grade. Now, that's not necessarily true if we can continue in the future, but for any assignments this week, I don't want them to hurt your grade. So what I'm going to do is for this assignment right here, this reverse engineering project, if you complete this assignment and it's good quality and it meets all the objectives, and I'm going to modify this assignment slightly, so the objectives are going to slightly change. We'll talk about that in a minute, but if you meet all the objectives, then I will put that into the grade book as a summative and it will increase your grade. However, if you don't do this assignment and meet all the objectives or anything like that, then I'm going to just treat this as a formative assignment and it will not hurt your current grade. So this is definitely something that I want everyone to work on and attempt, but you should not worry about it affecting your grade negatively. However, it can affect your grade in a positive direction. So if you're right on that, if you have a B or C, or maybe even a lower grade, this project right here can definitely help boost your grade up. But if you don't quite meet all the specifics for this, we're going to get into like how I'm changing the objectives. You can't figure out the software or whatever. You shouldn't stress about it too much because I'm not going to allow this assignment to hurt your grade. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Next thing that I want to talk about, obviously right now I'm sending out this video. This is what I'm hoping you're doing on, I have engineering classes periods 3, 4, 5. So hopefully you're watching this video, either Monday or Tuesday at some point. On Wednesday and Thursday, I'm going to have a Zoom conference with all of you, and that will be an opportunity for you to ask any questions that you might have about this assignment, and I'm hoping all of you can join me for that Zoom conference. So if you are in my third period IED class, we're going to meet, I'll send out an email with a link to the Zoom meeting on Wednesday, but we'll meet 11 to noon. If you're in my fifth period on Wednesday, if you're in my fifth period engineering class, I'll send out an email and we'll meet noon to 1. And if you're in my fourth period engineering class, we'll meet on Thursday from 11 a.m. to noon. So this assignment, what I'm talking about right now, watching this Edpuzzle video, and then also starting to work on this reverse engineering project, that's what I expect you to be doing either today or tomorrow. And then on Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to have a Zoom meeting where I will send out an email and we'll meet as a class to just kind of go over any questions that you might have. So watch out for that email on either Wednesday or Thursday, and I'll try to send the email right around the time that we would meet. So if you're in my third period class, I'll probably send the email out around 10:50 or so, just so it's at the very top of your email. Same thing like if you're in my fifth period class, I'll send it out around 11:50 or so. So watch for that email right before the meeting, but I'm not going to send it out early just because I want it to be at the top of your email. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense in terms of when we're meeting. We're not going to meet as a class on Monday and Tuesday. What I'm hoping you're doing is just watching this video and working on the assignment, and I'll talk about that assignment in a minute. We are going to try and meet as a class on Wednesday and Thursday during your specific period, and I'll send out a link to that Zoom meeting about 5-10 minutes before the actual meeting time. Okay, so before I get into how I'm going to modify this reverse engineering project assignment, let's talk about some of the most commonly asked questions. How do I get Inventor on? I have a computer at home. How do I get Inventor on it? Or number two, I don't have Inventor, and I'm really struggling with the hand. Like, what does all that look like? So number one, let's talk about Inventor. Okay, if you Google educational Autodesk Inventor. Okay, educational Autodesk Inventor. And then we look, don't click on the add one, but we go down to the next one, the Autodesk Education Free Software Inventor right here. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. That will bring you to the Autodesk website to be able to download this. So make sure that when you're looking at the top, the URL up here, it says education. The next thing that you'll have to do is you're going to have to create an account. So you're going to click on this create an account, and then when you create an account, you're going to, obviously we are in the United States, and your educational role, you are a student. It is at a high school. You'll enter in your birthday month. I'm just going to enter in a random day here. Let's say, I don't know. Okay, next. Okay, then you'll enter your first name, last name. Right here, make sure that you use your S207 email address. Okay, so you'll have to do that, your school email address, and then create a password right there. Once you've done all of this, then you'll go over to your email and you will get an email from Autodesk saying, hey, click here to verify your account. Once you've verified your account, then you will be able to sign in. Okay, so once you sign in, then you can click on sign in, and I do have an account. Let's see if I can remember what my password is. I think it's that. I don't necessarily remember what my password is. It doesn't really matter. You'll sign in, okay, and then you're going to have to come down here and choose your version. Okay, so the version that we use in our class is Inventor 2020. So you'll want to select from this drop down. I can't select anything right now because I'm not signed in, but you'll want to select the version in 2020. The operating system, hopefully this really only works on a Windows 10 operating system. So if you have Windows 10, you can choose Windows 10 and then the language English. Now, once you get that, you should receive a 1-year educational license, meaning that this software will work for 1 year on your computer and you won't have to worry about it. Okay, so this is how to get Inventor on your computer. Now, Inventor is only really going to work on, I believe it's really going to only work on a Windows computer. They might have a Mac version or an Apple version. They definitely don't have a version for a Chromebook though. And you really have to have a good like graphics card in your computer. Okay, so the computer needs to be relatively new. Basically, if the computer's 2 maybe 3 years old, it should be able to support Inventor. However, if you're using an older computer or you just have access to a Chromebook, then Inventor is not going to work for you. But that's okay, because I have another solution for people that are not able to get Inventor installed on their computers. It's called OnShape. So if we Google OnShape, I'm actually going to just go to their website, onshape.com. OnShape is a piece of software, I guess you could call it. It's a website that basically will work very similar to Inventor, except this will work on a Chromebook. This will basically work on any computer, and you won't have to download or install any software onto your computer. So what we'll want to do is we're going to want to go down to we click on pricing, and then if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there should be a link right down here that says students and educators, and we'll click on EDU program. Okay, and then that'll take you to this website right here, the OnShape Education. So you're going to have to sign up. If you want to use OnShape, you're going to have to sign up for OnShape. So you'll enter your first name, last name, school email address. So your main main 207, or you have S207, right? You're going to enter in your school email address right here. Make sure that you say that you're a student, and then we are in high school. You'll hit this Create EDU account. Then you'll go back, check your email. They will send you an email to verify your email address. You'll click on that, and then you'll be able to sign in. So let me go ahead and sign in. I've already created an OnShape account. So OnShape is completely free, and I think that's there we go. So OnShape is completely free, and for an EDU account, and this can work on a Chromebook, on an old computer. This can work on basically anything that you have. So once you're able to log into OnShape, if you click on Create Document, and then we can just go ahead and call this, I don't know, New Part. It's going to go ahead and load up. And this is going to be a very similar environment to Inventor. Now it's not exactly the same thing, and I don't expect you to be as proficient with OnShape as I am with any other like Inventor, but you might be able to figure this out. So most of the time we want to start on that front axis, so I can actually click right here on this front axis right there. You can just kind of click, and we can kind of move around. I like to just you can just kind of move this right there. Now let's say I wanted to create a shape. Okay, I can click on Sketch. Okay, I want to sketch on this plane right there, on the front plane, so it's already sketching on that front plane. Then I'm going to go ahead and create a box right here. I'll start at the origin, kind of come out here, click. Okay, I'm going to finish this sketch. Okay, let's go back to like the home view right here. So I think the way to go back to the home view is you can kind of just drag this around. If I click right there, I can kind of go back to this home view. To extrude, I can click on this extrude button, click on that sketch, and then I can write the depth right there, and then hit check. So you notice I was able to create a box in OnShape. So this will allow you to, and then if I wanted to do a fillet, like I can do fillets on these corners, okay, just like you would do in Inventor. Okay, and again, this piece of software, I say software, but it's an online tool. This can work on a Chromebook, on really anything that you want. So we can use OnShape no matter where you're at. So you have two options to continue with this this reverse engineering project. Number one, you can try to download Inventor onto your home personal computer, get that EDU license that's good for a year. But if you don't have access to a newer computer, or you only have access to a Chromebook, then you can use OnShape. Sign up for an EDU account using OnShape. And this should work. Now, I 100% understand that you might not have a lot of like the tools, and everything is a little bit different on this OnShape right now, right? Like sketch, and then I can try to sketch on this, but notice I'm going to go ahead and so to sketch on a specific plane, we click like that, and then you have to like turn this camera to be able to sketch on the plane. And then let's see, look, I can create like a circle, and then finish that sketch, and then I'm going to go back to like a different view here. Whoops, that's not the view that I wanted. Let's see. I do not, let's see. So now let's say I wanted to extrude that part. That's going out. I want it to go the other direction, so I can go the opposite direction in, and it'll cut that, and then I click check. the for anyway, this product, I think you have to do a whole anyway. For this product, I absolutely understand this is not the same thing as an Inventor, and it might take you a little bit longer to figure everything out and how this works. Again, that's why we're going to be having our Wednesday and Thursday meeting times, where I'll send out a Zoom meeting and then we'll be able to meet as a class, and hopefully I'll be able to help you figure these things out. Number two, I'm going to send out a few tutorials on how to use this, how to do some basic stuff like creating shapes and creating like a hole and creating all those different things. So I'll send that out. Hopefully that will help you. Also, I just want all of you to understand OnShape is something that I found over spring break, and it's not something that I am super comfortable with yet. Some other instructors recommended it, but I don't know how to do everything in here. I was told that you can do, obviously, we're creating parts in here right now, but I was told you can also do drawing files and all of that kind of stuff. I'm not 100% sure on how to do everything yet, but my goal is to try to figure all of that out and send out tutorials to all of you, or send out different and be able to help you on our Wednesday or Thursday meeting. Okay, so now let's get into, so we have Inventor and we have OnShape. Let's get into this reverse engineering project. Like I said previously, we're going to have 2 weeks to work on this. So we have this week, which is the week of obviously the 30th through April 3rd, and then we're going to have next week the 6th through the 10th. Currently, when I'm recording this video, we're supposed to return back to school here on the 7th, but who knows what'll happen. In any case, you guys are going to have 2 weeks to complete this assignment. This assignment will be due no matter what on the April 10th. However, like I said at the beginning, it can only help your grade. I'm not going to allow this assignment to hurt your grade. So I'm going to put it into the grade book as a summative that will, if you do well on it, boost your grade up. However, if you don't do very well on this assignment, then it will not hurt your grade. And that will persist whether we come back to school on the 7th or not. Okay, so for this assignment, I think I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm going to change some of the requirements of this assignment. Number one, the first thing, when disassembled, does it have to have at least 5 unique parts? This is a few. Okay, this could be up to 2 unique parts. I'm going to go ahead and keep this as the number 5, just so I have a copy for next year. But for you guys, I want this to have at least 2 parts. Okay, so all you guys have to have are 2 unique parts. And if you want to do something with 5 parts but you're still struggling, I came up with a couple of examples. So number one, I have this water cup, this Yeti right here. My Yeti, this handle thing pops off. This lid pops off. There's a I don't know what you call this, a rubber gasket around here. The straw, okay. So this is definitely something that could work. I took apart a hand sanitizer thing, and that's actually 5 parts too. Like one of those squirty bottles that you can wash your hands with the spring and the pump and all those kind of things. But like I said, I'm not going to make this. You don't have to have at least 5 unique parts for this. I just want you to have more than 1 part. Okay, so that could be as simple as, like, I have this remote right here. So you could just try to make this whole remote, and then make the batteries in here, the 2 batteries that fit in there, and then that's good. Okay, so 2 parts now, not 5. And then I am going to ask that you try to improve your product in some way. So think about how you can improve upon your product, but it doesn't have to be super complex. So one of the ways students in the past have done these things, a lot of students in the past have done like model cars, and they've like added a wing to the model car, like wings so that it can fly, or one of those wings on the back of the trunk to hold the back tires down. Or you can add like a giant like pickup truck thing to the back of a car. It doesn't have to be necessarily it can be something imaginative, and it doesn't necessarily have to be something that is functional. Okay, in the part right here, I have right here, I have to okay the part. Everybody, as long as you're choosing something, you are good, you are okayed. I'm not going to okay everybody, because I was going to have you bring in the part and you tell me yes or no. Everything that you choose is okay for me. And then I have these, it has to be no bigger than 12 by 12 by 12. It can be really any size you want. So it can be small, it can be big, whatever size you want is okay. So the first thing I have you do is create an isometric sketch and an orthographic sketch of each of the parts. These sketches are intended to provide means of recording the dimensions and notes. They should be neat, but not necessarily to scale. So these should just be basic sketches of each part. Now you're probably going to need isometric and orthographic paper. Remember, the orthographic paper is the grid paper, and then we have that isometric paper, that's that 3D paper. I'm going to, in the email that you got from me, hopefully there were a few attachments. Two of those attachments will be PDFs of a isometric piece of paper and an orthographic piece of paper, so you can print those out if you have a printer at home. If you don't have a printer at home, you're going to have to make, or you can try to just create the orthographic and isometric sketches by hand. Hopefully you have access to at least a ruler or something like that. I'm still hoping that you do that. Again, these sketches are just a means to record dimensions and notes, but not necessarily to scale. So you want to just do some basic sketches, isometric and orthographic, of your parts, and they should be each part. So like if I was doing the remote control, I would do the body of the remote as number one, and then I'd probably just do one battery as number two, and then that's going to be good. Okay, so you'd insert those sketches here. Number two, create 3D models in Inventor of each part of the product. So obviously you can do this in Inventor, or you can do this in OnShape. You can choose which one that you do. Now I'm assuming at home you probably don't have a dial caliper. I'm hoping you have a ruler, but you may not even have a ruler. But if you have a phone, you can download on your phone, usually a ruler onto your phone. So you can try to use your phone as a ruler and try to measure some of the shapes. To when you're scaling these out, these dimensions should be semi-accurate, but absolutely I do not expect them to be perfect. Okay, so go ahead and feel free to round or whatever scale you think is appropriate. That's totally fine with me, especially if you're using OnShape. I just want you to get used to this platform. If we're going to be out longer than just this week, we're probably going to have to be using OnShape for the rest of the year if you don't have access to Inventor. So you just getting used to this platform, figuring out how to make models, how to make different shapes is fine with me. So you trying to create, like if you were doing this remote, don't worry about necessarily, if you look at this remote, there's like all these different contours and there's all these different things. If you could just make like this a square box that you add a fillet to the edges and then a couple of boxes on top of there that you extrude through, and then try to make maybe a hole in the back for where the batteries would go, okay, that would be fine with me, especially if you're using OnShape, because this is a new platform and I don't expect you to be perfect with it. Same thing with a battery. A battery is just going to be a cylinder with another cylinder on top of it, and the bottom's flat. So I know that if you're looking at a remote, there's a lot of things on here. There's like these springs, and actually all these buttons are different shapes, and then there's buttons on the side. If you don't include those in your drawings or in your part files, that is totally okay with me. Okay, so again, we're just trying to get through this as best as we can, but I understand I'm not there. So it's number one, installing Inventor on a computer is relatively difficult, and a lot of students who have previously tried have failed at that. A lot of computers can't support that, so I have a feeling most people are going to be using OnShape, and OnShape is a new tool that you're not used to. So my expectations are relatively low for that. Um, and then you're going to create the 3D models in Inventor of each one of those parts. Now the drawing files, I'm hoping, and like I said, I was told that you can create drawing files in OnShape, but to tell you the truth, I have not figured that out yet. I know that you can definitely do assemblies. You can bring assemblies in here, but I'm not 100% sure yet on how to create a, there we go, there's create a drawing file right there. So I can create a drawing file, maybe the for view, it's not going to let me do that. My OnShapes recently opened. So it looks like you can create a drawing file. Okay, but I haven't 100% figured out how to do that yet. So we are going to want to create drawing files for this as well. I'm using either OnShape or Inventor. Again, like I said, I'm going to figure that out and send out more tutorials on how to create drawing files and all those kind of things in the future. Watch for those emails. That'll be in a separate email. And the exploded view, I don't necessarily think an exploded view is necessary. If we can just create the models and then create multi-view drawing files for each of the parts, and again, all you have to have is a total of 2 parts, that's good for me. Don't worry about the exploded view of the product or anything like that. Now, I am hoping that you can take screenshots of your work. If you're working on a computer at home, you can use the get screenshot. Okay, I always like to use screenshot to do screenshots. Okay, and then you can download this. Okay, click this download now button. You can also use, if you're using a Windows computer, the snipping tool. The snipping tool will allow you to click new and then kind of drag across your screen, and then we can go to edit copy, and then we could paste this into Google Doc. Like right here, I'll go ahead and paste that into the Google Doc. Okay, that's how to do that on a Windows computer. If you are using a Chromebook, you can still take screenshots on a Chromebook. So Chromebook screenshot. The way to do that on a screenshot on your Chromebook is you have to hit the Control Shift and then this key up here. It's like the key to switch windows or multi with window thing, but that should take a screenshot using a Chromebook, and then you should be able to just that'll copy it, and then you should be able to just paste it in your in the assignment. Okay. Render the isometric drawings. For this part, the presentation file, I'm going to talk more about this, the presentation. I'm going to talk more about this on either Wednesday or Thursday, and then getting into next week. Again, I'm assuming this project right here is going to take us 2 weeks to complete. Okay, so if you can just create the sketches by hand, isometric sketches and multi-view sketches of your product that you found, and again, it can be any piece. And then you can also try to create the 3D models in Inventor or OnShape of your product. That would be a great thing to have done by either Wednesday or Thursday. Then we'll be meeting in our Zoom, and I'll be answering questions, and I'll be talking more about this presentation part and the version 2.0 in the conclusion. I want to emphasize, I know I've said this before in this video, but I want to emphasize that I want everyone to do this assignment. This should be an assignment that everyone tries, especially if you are using OnShape, because we're going to be using OnShape if we continue with this type of e-learning. We're going to be using OnShape for the rest of the year, but this assignment will only help your grade. It cannot hurt your grade. Okay, so just do your best on this. I'll answer any questions you have on our e-learning day. But yeah, so hopefully this makes sense. If it doesn't, you can feel free to email me, or you can just ask some questions on our Wednesday or Thursday meeting. I hope you are all doing well and safe and not sick. I'm really feeling for you. I miss all you guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on either Wednesday or Thursday. Okay, bye.